Today I want to offer you a debate on the best size for roofing business in 2025. We started it last week in Columbus, Ohio at Bradford Roofing Supply.
That $1.8 to $2.2 million contractor with the owner and one salesman, or the owner and two salesmen, is my ideal client, and maybe onwards up to like a $5 million roofing contractor. That's my ideal customer.
There are quite a few sizes out there. So if you study roofing businesses all over the United States, you'll see a lot of smaller guys doing $300,000 to $1 million. We have $1 to $2 million guys, 1.8, 2.2. I'll explain these numbers in a second. $5 million, $10 million company, all the way to $100 million plus. I want you to comment below which size do you think is the most profitable, the easiest to manage, and what's the best size for a roofing company, if one exists in your opinion. Over the years, I have seen and heard explanations how $5 million company is the best, $3 million company is the best, $7 to $8 million companies are the best. I've seen my mentor, Rodney Webb, pushing companies to do $15 to $20 million and not letting them scale above that. Obviously, there's a lot of factors here: market, city, how big is your operation, all of those. But last week, I have heard explanation that $1.8 to $2.2 million is the best roofing size. And I want to kind of explain it to you and see if you agree. I actually really like this business size because $1.8 to $2.2 million requires only owner-operator, usually a person who owns the company, sells a lot of jobs, and one sales rep, maybe someone in the office. So usually it's 2 to 4 people, so you don't have a big overhead. It's very scalable year over year. Pretty much if you're not spending a lot on marketing, on advertising, even if you have a smaller city, you can do this almost all small and big markets. It really depends on your philosophy, how you think about growth, what kind of ambitions you have, and if you do want to make more than $500,000 a year. Because if you do $1.8 to $2.2 million, this business will make about $500,000 a year. And I think that's the bigger question to ask here. How much do I want to get paid as a business owner? Some people run $15, $20 million businesses because they want to have $1 million at the end of the year. But I also have seen people who do $5 million who lose money. I've seen people who do $10 million who lose money. Our friend Lee Haid in 2018 did $10 million in business and lost $1 million.
I lost $1 million in my regular business.
Imagine doing $10 million a year and losing $1 million. That's why it's so important who you listen to. Because when you listen to fake gurus like Lee Haid, and by the way, in 2018, he was selling his courses to roofers, not telling people that he's losing money. And then later in the interviews, he's like, yeah, I've been losing money forever, right? Because if you suck at business, scaling and making more money is not going to help you. You can do a lot of stupid projects for your ego. A lot of people who go big actually go broke because they don't know their overhead. They take jobs out of desperation. They're bidding on the projects they have no business bidding on. Like CMR is a great example. CMR for 20 years was doing great. They're actually past $100 million category, $179 million at their peak with a debt of over $40 million. Why? Because they decided that we want to become commercial contractor. Listen to me very careful. I don't know what's your perfect size. You might be making money almost on all of them, but when you start doing something that you don't know enough about, you will be losing money. So like I see a lot of residential contractors going into commercial and start losing money. I see commercial guys start doing residential, start losing money. Actually, next week I'm traveling to Contractor in Tennessee. That was his journey. He was doing $5 million a year in commercial, like coding and stuff. Then he opened a residential and have early success, quick $1 million in sales. And then when he realized that his numbers and his profitability goes down, he's like, screw this, not worth my time. I'm gonna go back to what I know. You can only make money when you bring real value to your customers. You cannot do it all. In that sense, what I always said, doing less is doing more, is applicable to all business sizes. But I really like this explanation of 1.8 to 2.2 because it just makes sense. Because I think I've met too many people who have rental properties, who invested. They have no debt. They're living the dream. Because if you're making $500,000 a year, that's a good lifestyle. I mean, nothing wrong with $5 million business as long as you're profitable. And if you are doing $5 million, you better be doing $1 million in profit. If you're not, you have to ask yourself, what are you doing wrong? Actually, last year, I talked to a contractor who did $3 million and was very profitable, then went to $4 million, lost money, and came back to me and said, Dmitry, this is it. I'm doing $3 million moving forward. $3 million is a perfect business model. I understand why you didn't want to scale your company. He used to work with me, and he said, $3 million for me is my perfect size. The point of this video is really challenge you not to compare yourself to others. Because we live in a time where social media kind of dictates our own lifestyle. We go to social media, we see, okay, this guy has this, he has this, and this company does that. And on social media, it looks like everybody's doing well. On social media, it looks like everybody's successful. They have trucks. And listen, I have seen people, I remember I covered the story last year. We have a company who've been doing $17 million a year. They have on the outside, if you follow them on social media, they have tons of trucks, tons of sales reps. At the end, when they filed bankruptcy, they lost it all. They lost all their vehicles. I'm talking about repossessions, right? So that's what you're not gonna see on social media. You're not gonna see failures. And I've seen them. So like here, CMR, here the company, Excel Roofing, I believe, in Ohio, failed here. Lee Hatefake Guru is here, by the way, trying to chase $100 million for many years. Listen, stop paying attention to people who are broke, to people who are just trying to sell you the dream, selling you the product. You know, I see people selling courses, and you know, roofing school technically is a course, but the reason we charge $200 a month and there's no contracts, because I want you to understand that this is sustainable business. We're a school, we're not a university, we're not, you know, I'm not claiming that I'm gonna triple your business, quadruple your business, but I've taken people from here, hundreds of people, to here in the past 5 years, and I'm proud of it. You're not gonna see me making that kind of content because I don't think it's relevant. Our people in our community knows their numbers, and I've seen so many people on this journey. But more importantly, you need to know your personality, your goals, and how does it align with your business. Because if you lost in life in general, and you don't know where you're going, and you're chasing someone else's dream, I guarantee you will fail. The reason I liked last week's explanation of this business being number one, because the person who was sharing it with me, he knew quite a few business owners. He's been a business owner himself. He actually scaled way past $10 million. He told me, Dmitry, if I would start a business today, this is how I would do it. I would make $500,000 every single year with one sales rep and one person in the office. And I've seen it multiple times. So you have to ask yourself today, what fits your lifestyle? How many kids do you have? What's your relationship with your wife? What's your balance? I don't believe in work-life balance per se, but what's your balance? What's your, like, how much craziness do you want to have in your life? Do you want to risk it all and try to go for the moon and hit maybe $100 million? Or can you be content enough in your own city saying, hey, one location, one city, I'm gonna dominate these 3 zip codes, and I'm gonna build a lifestyle business out of it. So comment below which business size is perfect for you in 2025. Let's argue, let's find out. I read all of my comments and I really like this explanation. You know, I grew my business to closer to $5 million in today's dollars, but $4 million. And I still like this, it attracts me. If I would start a business today, I would be okay running this business. Would you?